Today I want to break down my back and biceps workout. One of the biggest things I want to do is basically critique my workout, see where I could have been better, but most importantly, just give you guys some value in terms of how you can get bigger, how you can get a leaner back, and just work out better. Because there is working out harder, there is working out better, and I believe it's a combination of both that's going to get you the results that you want to get. So let's get into it. First thing we started with was dumbbell rows, and watching it right now, one of the biggest things is, for me right now, my wrist has been tight. I don't know why. Just lately, it just hasn't felt the way that, it should. I'd say right now it's about 85%. So I've been wearing a wrapper on my left hand only, just to help me push through the workouts, especially on push and pull, which is basically the biggest things I need it for. It's not to the point where it's like causing pain, but it's to the point where it's uncomfortable. But going into it, back and biceps rows. First thing I would assess, it's basically, I think I went a little bit too heavy too fast. Usually your rows I can work up to about 225, and I actually prefer it on the Smith machine. I actually just moved from New York to Delaware, and I don't have the Smith machine now, and I have a free bar. And it's not a problem, but I came from Planet Fitness to now Crunch, a free bar, and the biggest thing, it's just getting used to that balance, that coordination, that control again. But overall, I went for about 205 for about 6 to about 8 reps. I got it for 2 sets, but I felt like if I went to about 185, I would have got a better feel, but most importantly, a better workout, right? But overall, felt great. Let's keep it going. So yeah, we did about 4 sets of basically 6 to 10 reps, 135 for 10, and then 205 for 8, and then I finished it up with 6. And then going next is basically going to be the incline dumbbell row. Now with the incline dumbbell row, this is one of my favorite workouts to hit that mid to lower back, right? Just because of the control, the angle. And that's one thing I want you guys really pay attention to. It's like, in terms of working out, you also have to be aware of the angles that you're hitting, because the angle will dictate the muscle. Like, I know it may not be something that a lot of people preach, but I promise you, it's something that, you definitely have to work on. It's on what angle you perform the exercise, right? And how you positioning your body so therefore you can actually hit the targeted area that you're, trying to hit so desperately. But going into it, with the incline chest supported row, especially with dumbbells, get a nice deep stretch. The biggest thing I would say from there on, always keep that chest nice and high. I know for me, I'm looking down. It may not look like I'm keeping my chest high, but trust me, I am. And then from there on, again, it's all about the stretch, the control at the top, squeezing it through, and just engaging the muscle, man. One of the beauties of this, it's, yes, in terms of grip, your grip might get tired if you're not used to a specific amount of weight, but that's for everything. But in terms of, let's say, control, if you go into fair weight, bro, the feel you're going to get is going to be absolutely insane. I prefer this than, I'd say, the seated row. And some people may not agree, but I personally do. Just because, again, the feel I get, and I've been doing it for so long that I know this works, right? But yeah, we went for about 4 sets here, and we went for 8 every time. Nothing too crazy. I started with 100s, and then I finished off my last set with 100. I did 6, and I did 5 of 75 pounds, just so I could do like a quick little drop set. And that's one thing I always do, and actually, I tell people to do sometimes. It's while you're doing your workouts, if you're going to failure towards your last set, drop set. Why not? Why not? Drop set it, see how it feels. Most importantly, just push yourself a little bit. Because the muscle, the way it's going to react, it's going to feel light for the first 1 or 2 reps. And then it's going to catch up, and you're going to be like, oh shit, this feels like it's 100 pounds, even though it's 50 pounds lighter. But yeah, after the incline row, we went into the not the incline, what am I saying, the incline? It's right in front of me, what am I talking about? We're here, and we're doing the dumbbell pullover. Absolutely love dumbbell pullover, but it's an exercise I wouldn't say for a beginner to do straight off the bat, just because of the control it takes, the mind to muscle connection you need to have and able to actually do it, perform it perfectly, meaning you might be somebody who's starting doing it, you might feel a lot of tension in your tricep. And one thing I always say to remove that tension away from your tricep is push the elbows out. And then for me, one thing I like to do is to hold it like I'm about to catch a football. Elbows out, and that allows me, as I'm coming down, to stretch out that, and as I'm coming up, I drive up with the meat in my hand, keeping that tension where it needs to be. That's one thing that you see. But again, the biggest thing is the position, right? Because it does take a little bit to position yourself, and you have to make sure you're in a position that actually makes sense. Most importantly, it's not going to compromise your form. Because the biggest thing that I see a lot of times when it comes to dumbbell overheads, it's basically when people are too high, which therefore can cause them to completely fall over, or when they're too low, which therefore keeps their arms straight out, and now they have no room to allow their shoulders to lean in to do this work, and then most importantly, their arms are straight the entire time. And now as they're coming up, it's all tricep. It's a great chest and back exercise. If you're going to do it for chest, the biggest thing is you wouldn't go as low. Most importantly, you want to keep that tension right at the top area. So one thing I always recommend for chest is just keeping a slight range of motion and just keeping the tension where you feel it most. But again, great exercise. We went for about 3 sets here and just 10. And I kept the same weight the entire time, just 100, just so I can get the reps I need to get to. But most importantly, I should get a good feel, because again, it's not all about weight every time. And this is towards the workout where I start to focus more on just range of motion, even though I focus on it through everything. But this is where I start really focus on the stretch. This is where I lower the weight. This is where I start using unilateral movements, and these are movements where you're using single arms or single body part, single side of your body. And the biggest thing is, again, it's the focus, it's the attention. And when I say attention, it's attention to detail. As you're seeing, I'm doing the single arm row, the lumbar row. One of the biggest things that you want to do is you want to make sure as you're driving in, those elbows are really tucked in. Most importantly, you're driving and dragging that forearm down to get that squeeze, that tension that you need to actually hit that mid to lower glad. But again, great exercise. I'll definitely include this into your routine. Great for if you want a deep stretching exercise, this is the one. And the biggest thing, again, you see like my body is like leaned. That's because I'm just angling myself, so therefore I can just keep the tension in one area. Sometimes I tell people to keep their chest up and just keep it straight if you're just beginning out, so therefore you can get the form down. But once you start becoming more experienced, you realize you can benefit to that lean. Just again, it comes down to the muscular, like mind to muscle tension connection you have with yourself, meaning you can do it and use that lean, but you may not feel it the same way as somebody who's been doing it for a while and now is accustomed to that exercise. So when they're accustomed to that exercise, they have a lot more control in it than you. Even though you might be stronger, but if they've been doing it for longer, they have the ability to control the area that they want to focus on the most. Meaning they've just been used to it, they're adapted to it, so therefore they're able to use that stretch position muscle to feel it the entire way. If you're just doing it, you're not feeling it the entire way, to be honest with you, you're just wasting your time at that point. And from there on, we went to bicep curls. We did 4 sets of 12. When it comes to just regular bicep curls, I only did 1 set just because my biceps, I know they're going to take a hit, especially when I do pull-ups, because that's the last thing that we do. We did about 3 sets of 5. But overall, in terms of supersets, I did a superset with bicep curls and lateral raises, and I always include little workouts here and there for lateral raises. So therefore, I can just target that muscle throughout the week without necessarily have to training, more than once in terms of shoulders. But yeah, there were about 4 sets. Who can't even talk? Of 12, and the lateral raises went to 15, and then we finished it up with pull-ups. Pull-ups, we did about 3 sets of 5. I was tired, but also importantly, I'm around 210 right now, so don't laugh at me, man. But lifting 210 can get tired. I'm not gonna lie to you. Lifting 210 repeatedly can get very, very tiring. But overall, felt good, did good, and it was overall a great workout. But yeah, these are some things that I hope you guys can take away from this. I definitely think for me, just slowing it down, not jumping the gun in terms of weight, could definitely be something that I do better at. Because again, there's always room for improvement, right? And then overall, yeah, just focus on staying consistent, hitting the gym, and we will see results. You will see results. But hope this was helpful. And have a great rest of your day. Stay blessed. Keep crushing it.